Hi, have a nice lunch. I want to talk a little bit today about why jobs are not being created in our economy. FDR said it best. He said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. The concept that the lack of confidence, the lack of belief in the economy stops people from creating jobs. A business doesn't expand because it doesn't think the consumer demand will be there. A bank doesn't make a loan because it's worried that the people that are borrowing the money will default on it or fail to pay it back and that the bank will be in trouble. And those fears multiply throughout the economy and stagnate economic growth. Now, Keynesian economics, named after John Maynard Keynes, the British economist of the 1930s and 40s, said that the answer to a recession or a depression is to print more money, put more money in circulation, cut taxes, raise spending, put more money out there, and that the extra money will float around and generate demand and restore economic growth. But that all assumes that people are going to use the money, and they're not. Right now, banks are sitting on almost $800 billion of capital they're not lending. And corporations are sitting on almost $1 trillion of money they're not spending. They're literally keeping it in low interest rates rather than investing it in their business because they lack the one ingredient, confidence. They are fearful. They're afraid of the economy not recovering. Well, the problem is that I think that Obama's policies stoke and encourage those fears. And as a result, they really inhibit job creation. Let me give you an example about the banking sector. About 3/4 of the loans that go to small businesses in the U.S. come from the 9,000 small and community banks in the United States. Bank of America doesn't lend much to small businesses, and Chase doesn't, whatever their ads say. Most of the money is by your local neighborhood bank. And 2/3 of the jobs that are created in the United States are being created or have been created by small businesses. So when you stop small banks from lending to small businesses, you really stop job growth in the United States. Well, Obama passed the Dodd-Frank financial regulation bill. And that basically gave the feds the power to take over any bank it wanted, fire the staff, replace the board of directors, wipe out the shareholder equity that includes their pensions, and force them to merge into a larger bank. And the feds are using that power with a vengeance. About 400 banks have been closed in the last 2 years. Another 800 are on the FDIC watch list. One out of every small bank in the United States is actively in the process of being closed down. And many, many more are waiting online and will probably be afflicted with just such regulatory zeal. So who's going to make loans? Are you crazy? You're going to give money, lend money to a business that could not pay it back, and then the feds come down on your case and wipe out your bank? You're not going to make those loans. They're not going to expand their jobs. In the healthcare sector, we used to create 30,000 jobs a month in the healthcare industry in the U.S. Now it's down to 12,000. Why? Because they're fearful that under the new Obamacare regulations, they won't get reimbursement. Now, this is a sector where it is not supply and demand. It's over half government funded, and people still get sick. There's still plenty of consumer demand, and it's third-party reimbursed, so it's not really controlled by fear on the demand side. But it is on the supply side. You're not going to open a new radiology clinic and hire 12 new people to do colonoscopies because you might not get reimbursed for it. It might just be cut off. So as a result, they're not creating jobs. And in industry after industry, the fears of unionization, the fears of higher taxation coming down the pike, the fears of changing the ground rules under which businesses operate have terrified the businesses in this country. So when FDR said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, Barack Obama should have been listening. Thanks. Have a nice lunch, and I'll see you tomorrow.